Welcome everybody to another episode of Section 305, the sports show. I'm Raul Pego and my colleagues Anthony Aguirre and Nick Dupont, who has the Marlins Stadium in his background, the Lone Depot, which if you guys saw our last reel on all platforms, we just witnessed right now the earliest and best game of the season with a walk-off home run.
Yes,
Exciting.
sir.
That's why I'm still here at the stadium. That's why I haven't left yet. I just after that game, I don't want to leave. I mean, the
Nick
people
just
have been
hides
asking me to get
under
out.
every stadium. He'll sleep at Hard Rock. He'll
1 second.
sleep in Lone Depot. He'll
At the Hard Rock City, even production team wanted to cut him off. With the Lone Depot of what we witnessed last season, basically an upcoming of what we can now start watching from that team in the nearest future, like become possibly contenders, a dangerous team in the NL, which we've been waiting for decades since the 2003 World
Yeah.
Series. They only made one playoff appearance, which for a lot of people didn't count because it was a short season. It was a pandemic
no.
season.
They've made a couple. They made the 2021 and then 2023, but that was they got
That's
knocked
what
out by the I think it was the Phillies. Very, very quickly.
the 2023, that one will count. But the short season, the 60 game, that's why a lot of people are not how do you say impressed with them
Yeah.
making the playoffs because it was a short season. And a lot of like teams and players were going through obviously what all of us had, like not only like health issues, dealing with this type of lives, basically
Crazy time.
short-term lifestyle that we had to get used to until we came back to normality. So that affected a lot of players mentally as well.
Of course.
Of
course.
So I mean, it had a lot of things to do, but just like people, even though it does count, the Dodgers World Series championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing as the bubble for the Los Angeles Lakers. All of us were going through it, so this is not an excuse. Like, oh, only this type of leagues or this type of individuals were going through tough times because of the pandemic. Production did what he did.
Sorry, everybody. Security came up to me and told me they needed me to leave the building, but I refused. So
Wait. Did you at least give him a tip to lead you for 40 minutes of this show?
yeah. I told him I'd buy him some chicken tenders later, so don't worry. I'll buy him some chicken tenders and I'll leave.
And it's
buy me
expensive.
some, man. Damn. You know I love me some chicken
I
tendies.
gotta do what I gotta do to stay here and record, man. You know, I gotta do what I gotta do.
And there's a lot of new specials at the Lone Depot. I mean, it's pricey, but it looks very good.
At first, he wanted that 2-foot quesadilla, and I was like, "How much is it?" He told me it was like $50-$60, and I was like, "Bro, I got the chicken tenders. I can do that." He's like, "You know what? I'll take that. I think that works."
Bro, I mean, look at that hot dog that they sell at the Hard Rock, if I'm not mistaken. The $100 caviar.
Yeah, I would never touch that in my life.
That's insane.
They sell that. They sell that at the Miami Open. I mean,
you're taking the fact that you're taking a stadium hot dog and then you're putting caviar on it. It's like it's like ruining one of the best things in the world, like luxury wise, and putting it on one of the shittiest food options. And I'm not trying to discredit the food options at Hard Rock, but Hard Rock is notorious. Hard Rock is notorious for not having great food. So it's like McDonald's when they came out with the freaking caviar chicken nuggets. You know, it's like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing that?
What about the McRibs from McDonald's?
You see the McRibs from McDonald's? I don't mess with that. I don't believe in that personally. I would never touch that.
Nah, man. I actually
I'm a Burger King guy. I'm a Burger King guy. So
yeah, everybody's got their different tastes.
There's no caviar over there. There's no caviar over there.
There's no caviar there. But they got them Whoppers. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when you crave it, I mean,
it'd be like that, bro. It'd be like it. You get that Whopper, $8. I'll take it.
I feel like if I take Anthony for lunch there, he's gonna be very thankful of me. He's probably gonna hug me.
He'll wear the crowd.
He's gonna care for me even more. So and give me a little bit more time extended here at the.
Oh
show.
No, not a chance. Not a damn chance.
See this crown? I'm like the Hornets, kings.
Oh my god!
Like that.
Oh god!
I like that.
God.
I like that. Great transition. Great transition. Speaking of hoops, guys. Speaking of hoops.
Wow, Nick. You bandwagoner, you have disappointed me.
I'm sorry. I'm not going for them. I'm still diehard Heat, but I am wearing the colors today. So
I mean, we're gonna be talking about the NBA next episode since next week is the last of the regular season. Let's see who are the ones that secure a playoff spot from the first and sixth position, and then we'll see who secures from a 7th to 10th. Teams like Miami, they're gonna have to go back to back to back.
We know the deal. We all know the deal, guys.
Playing. So, we'll leave that topic for next week. We got a lot to talk about the season, but let's start with the one that is closely ending, the 2026 March Madness, which has been one of the greatest comebacks we've ever seen, at least in an Elite Eight, Final Four championship game. Duke looked like they were going to run over them after what we saw at halftime. And all of a sudden, the UConn Huskies danced their way back to the Final Four for the third time this decade after a remarkable comeback to beat the Duke Blue Devils 73-72. Anthony, I'm going to give you the first word. Was this actually more about the Huskies completing the comeback win or the Blue Devils losing another big lead this season? Third one, including regular.
Well, I'm gonna say this is more of just this is a stain on Duke's legacy because I mean you are a program that secures the top recruits each and every year. You have massive talent no matter what year it is.
True.
So you have no excuse really to just choke like that. Also, even in the transfer portal, you would get a bunch of recruits in that area as well. So there's no excuse for you guys to have all this talent and not win a national championship since 2015. So it's ridiculous, especially that half court turnover. I mean, man, talk about
and being the son of Cameron Boozer. That's crazy. Out of all the people.
Carlos.
Exactly. And listen, like Duke always has those expectations, but this year they were one of the most dominant teams, especially in the ACC. So this was just a ridiculous loss. They should not have lost. And so I think moving forward, we have to question: is Duke that program? Like, are they still that program that can get it done when it matters most? Because right now it's not looking like it.
Yeah.
That's my take on that. Also, just a quick note, as someone who was never, again, I was never a fan of Miami basketball, the University of Miami, before the season. I got into it with my job. Jay Lucas was robbed of ACC Coach of the Year. That guy was robbed.
Most definitely.
Biggest turnaround in not just program history, but Division I. And to do what he did in a short off season, no returning players, he got all the right pieces, made them work the way they had to work, and you made to the round of 32, and you don't get ACC Coach of the Year. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I just wanted to point that out, but yeah.
Yeah, that was a big stain for the program and for the beginning of his career, his first season with the Canes. I agree with that. And Anthony, just to add another point, I agree when you're saying like how hasn't Duke won a national championship when next to Kentucky they're one of the best recruit. Obviously now with John Calipari now being in that program, now he's going to be bringing good players, transfer portal, or the best high school players in the nation to Arkansas. We just Huff Jr. this season, beast. He probably could be even the first pick. Cameron Boozer has been talked about being a number one pick or at least a top 5 for the next draft. I think Caden Boozer needs like one more year with the Blue Devils because he was only averaging 7 points per game, and he was coming off the bench before their main starting point guard got injured. And after this mistake, I know he's going to want to reinvent himself. But yeah, even when Coach K was still in the program, they recruited the best players in the nation, and they still didn't get it done. So that was like a big fact and take that you just gave. I just wanted to allow. And then I'm going to answer the question, was this more of a Huskies completing the comeback or Blue Devils losing another big lead this season? Nick, what is your take?
I mean, honestly, I think just Duke folded on themselves. I kind of have to agree with this. UConn had no right winning this game. They shot 5 for 23 from the 3-point line. Already horrible. I mean, Terrence Reed Jr., a phenomenal game on his end. 26 points, 4 blocks. Like, I mean, he was balling out for the entire game, especially since Cameron Boozer had 27 for the day. That end sequence, that's the main thing I want to talk about for this topic. That end sequence when Caden did turn over the ball, I will give it that is his fault. He had 3 turnovers for the whole game. That last turnover being the worst, causing a ESPN instant classic moment right then and there.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Caden. Again, shout out to the Boozers. But Yeah, man. Like I think he's going to come back next season a lot stronger. Duke, for the most part, Anthony, I don't agree with you on the fact that this is a stain on
Hmm.
their legacy because they've had a long history of them losing in the tournament, like losing these big moment games that where they're up and they blow a lead. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't put it as a stain. I just whenever I think of Duke basketball personally, I always think of them as chokers at some point. Like yeah, they'll probably get to the Final Four or a big moment or something, and then all of a sudden they just fall apart.
So like a bad
Hmm.
consistency through decades.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've won. They've won in the past, but everything that they've had, like they've had Cooper Flag, Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, like, and they've done nothing with any of those guys.
Paulo Banquero. Paulo
Yeah, Paolo Banchero. Like
Banquero.
they've had all these guys for so long. Like really, at this point in Duke's legacy, I would just say they're more of a developmental school and they're a really competitive basketball school, but they still don't have what it takes to get to that title. And I don't want to blame John Sullivan. I mean, I kind of have to blame John Sullivan because that coaching at the end of the game, there's no excuse to blow that type of a lead. There's
John
no
Shire.
excuse.
John
John
Shire.
No.
Shire. Thank you, thank you. There's no excuse to blow that type of lead at the end of the game. So at this point, I would say they need to figure it out for next season. And I feel like it's the same talk we have with Duke for every year. They need to do something. They need to make a change. They need to get another big guy. But every time they get that big guy, they can never take that other step. Like mind you, my favorite player on UConn, Solo Ball. Solo Ball was supposed to go off for a big game. He only had 10 points and shot the ball horribly.
Mhm.
But on the other side of the court, defensively, he was performing. Caden, and I want to go back to Caden for example. Caden had an amazing game. He shot super consistent.
Yeah,
He had 15
he
points,
did.
5 rebounds, 6 assists. He had a great game. But in the most important moment, at that point, you just need to hold the ball, man. Because if he just held the ball, he would have been fouled, go to the free throw line, get two
Hmm.
shots. They would have made their way to the final. So I blame coaching, and as much as I love Caden and the Boozers, Caden and Cam, I do blame Caden for that one, and I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the Boozers. I hope they can make a comeback in the NBA. And I agree with you, Raul, on your take where Caden's at least going to need another year in Duke because yeah, he was coming off the bench, but we've seen throughout this tournament that he can be that number one guy and that facilitator at the point guard
Yeah.
position. So I
Let me
think he's
let me
gonna
ask you
maybe
guys
be another year or two there.
let me ask you guys real quick before you go. If Duke at this point in their history, if they're just a development program, should we just not even take them serious as contenders anymore until they
No,
prove otherwise?
no,
Nah,
no, no. I was gonna agree for what you said earlier, Anthony. Like, even though, I mean, those are good points you guys are saying. This is a developing program, but this team has more pressure than, let's say, Kentucky. Kentucky, for me, that's the best program developing players. Look at all those superstars that are in the NBA, All Stars,
De'Aaron
MVPs,
Fox, Bam.
players that have won championships, players that have made history, this and that. Like, in my opinion, like the best players that we've seen coming out of college basketball are from Kentucky. But they never have, I mean, they do have expectations, but they don't have that same pressure as a program like Duke, because Duke and North Carolina are the most talked ever. The greatest rivalry, not only in college basketball, like in North American sports. And so that's why they're always going to be in that conversation. Like North Carolina, that's why they fired Hubert Davis. I mean, after Roy Williams, he hasn't done nothing. 2 quick exits in the first round. At least
yeah,
John Shire has brought them to the Final Four. They choked last season against Houston. We get it. And like you said, for decades, consistency in the bad way, they literally blow big leads. We've seen it 3 times in total this season. Their losses were by average of 5 points
yep.
combined, including this game when
Hmm.
they had the big lead. And then we just witnessed it in the Elite Eight. And of course, maybe we would be talking about Duke in a different manner if Caden Boozer wouldn't have done that turnover. Because we got to give credit to Braylon Mullins. Like, wow, what a crazy shot. They're talking about either is that the best shot or the Taylor Jenkins with Villanova or the Christian Lander with the Duke for us to be already be putting that in a conversation with 2 national championship games, buzzer beating wins, and now like this was an Elite Eight. This wasn't a Final Four or a Natty, but it was a comeback completed with an amazing, historic, highlighted shot from one of their players who's averaging double-digit points. And so that's the reason why production. Can you please? There you go. Put that image. I gotta go against both of you. I gotta go with UConn because Nick, you just said it. We've seen this. It's not the first time Duke has basically choked in the biggest moment. We've seen
Yep.
it when Coach K was there, who is one of the best, if not the best, in men's side. Because I got Gino Auriemma being the best coach in collegiate level history. I mean, his resume says for itself. And next game, Final Four against South Carolina. That's a rematch from last year's national championship. And for me, that's their championship. Whoever they play next, UCLA or Texas, I got UConn winning it. But obviously, they got to surpass Don Staley and the Gamecocks. Returning to this, we got to talk about another UConn head coach who can possibly become the best in men's side. Guys, they've gone to three in this decade, Final Four. And they're going against Illinois. Props to Illinois. They've had an amazing tournament run. But I feel like this game is actually more difficult than what they're gonna face in the Final Four. Like in the other side, we got Arizona and Michigan, two teams that we put in the Final Four. But now those number one seeds, they're the most completed. And Michigan has got the better defense. But you saw how Arizona turned it around against Purdue. And so that's going to be the best game of the semifinals. UConn and Illinois, a lot of people are giving the better percentage to win it. So imagine Dan Hurley 3 times. The beginning of this decade, now we're starting the second half, 2026. For the past 4 years, 3 at least national champion appearances. And also UConn, yes, they have recruited good players in the past. Some of them have gone to the NBA. Others have had a short term in the league. So I'm not going to say like they're the best development program, but at the same time, they've had good coaching in the past years, generations. That's why they got a couple of national championship titles. I'm sorry for that. And so when you pick the starting lineup of UConn and Duke, obviously we are already naming future prospects of the NBA, one that is going to be a lottery pick. And so obviously they were the favorite to win against Duke, and that big lead that they have 44-29 for then UConn, Dan Hurley, make the adjustments like he knows how to do. And basically, like obviously like I said, we would be talking about in a different way if this incident wouldn't have happened. But still, it did. It's sports. It's life. We learn from our mistakes, and I gotta give more Huskies kudos for completing this comeback win. If you guys want to respond to that.
I like that. No, I agree with you. I like that. I do like that take a lot because again, the Huskies they shown that they can go overcome adversity. And even at the beginning when we did start talking about the NCAA and like who we had as our winners, I did have UConn going all the way. So I shouldn't be shocked, but at the same time, like
I didn't
be shocked.
I didn't.
No, I know you did.
I even had them losing, like, if I'm not mistaken, the Sweet 16. I'm going to look for it quick right now. If you guys want to end the segment while I'm here looking for my bracket.
I'll wrap it up quick. I mean, I've said on the show that UConn's going to win. And again, like, how can you not be shocked by that moment, though? Like, that moment was incredible. I don't think anybody expected that moment to happen. As soon as I saw the ball go up, I was like, oh, that's it. There's no way that's going in. Like, it looked too good to be true. Anthony, do you have anything else?
Literally.
As someone who's starting to cover games in the ACC, like you see Miami on the rise. Virginia was a really great team. Louisville was a really good team. So you just gotta wonder, okay, how close is the gap now? Because if we can't even trust this team to make a run, then you got to think these other schools are close. Because when we think of the ACC, we obviously think of Duke and UNC. UNC obviously they didn't have Caleb Wilson, so that played a big factor in their disappointment towards the end. But for Duke, I mean, if I'm these other programs, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I bring in the right guys, I can damn sure beat Duke.
Yeah. So guys, this was my pick. I had them losing in Sweet 16 against Michigan State. Ooh. So I even had them going to the Final Four. Let them know possibly going to national championship game because between Illinois and UConn, obviously I'm rooting for the Huskies. Arizona, Michigan, I already had them facing each other in semifinal with Arizona winning, but I'm scared of that Michigan defense.
I think a lot of people are.
I'm not gonna lie. So that game, that's what I'm saying, is gonna be like the most intensive because I feel like Arizona has a better offense. Their whole starting lineup is averaging double-digit points. And we already saw how they handled Purdue in the second half. So this is going to be based on who's got the better offense, which is Arizona, and who's got the better defense. Michigan defense wins championships. So a lot of people are going to probably give the Wolverines a better percentage, even though a lot of brackets have the Wildcats winning it all. So we'll see the outcome of it. But yeah, guys, Sunday was a crazy day for us. We witnessed so many big moments, like game winners and everything. Like
Sunday was a blessing. Hey,
Sunday was a
it just shows
blessing.
what
Amen.
God does. It just shows
Yep.
what God does, man.
Yeah, most definitely. But at the end of the day, yeah, Anthony, I also want to say, just to wrap it up, I don't think it stains, just like Nick says. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it before with Coach K, which for us to say that is crazy. John Shire, I mean, at least he still has that program relevant compared to what Hubert Davis did with North Carolina. And we've seen so many superstars being in that team. And always, I feel like that Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, Duke team should have won. Cam Reddish. I mean, look at that.
He was balling that year. He was balling.
That's crazy. The Paolo Banchero, which they lost in the semifinals against the Tar Heels, also a team. And if I'm not mistaken, that was Coach K's last season.
I get it. I get what you guys do. I get you guys, your guys' side. But in my opinion, again, when you look at a team, and I know I go crazy just mentioning them all the time. When you look at a team like Miami, who had no legitimate superstar, because respectfully, Trey Donaldson, Malik Renew, Ernest Uday, those guys are at best second round NBA talents or even two-way contract guys, respectfully.
But undrafted players probably.
So again, when you look at a team like Duke, specifically, who are going to get the top recruits every single year, regardless of their status, it just makes me think, okay, if we can't even view them as a legitimate threat in the ACC, because at this point, you're going to think to yourself, the gap in talent is not that significant. So it's just more so like you're kind of just losing a bit of your identity and your dominance. That's just my take on that, really.
Maybe not that much of the identity, because like we said, they've always had these big moments when they choke. So it's like it's not like, wow, did we just witness Duke basically choking? I mean, we've seen it before. We saw against Houston in the Final Four. It was supposed to be Duke and Florida.
Yeah.
Literally, we were working
Houston
that
was a very scrappy.
Anthony,
Houston was a very scrappy team that year. They were so scrappy that time.
But like I'm telling you, a couple of last-second turnover that the Blue Devils did cost them the game against Houston. That's what I'm trying to say. That we witnessed something similar like this in the Final Four when Duke played Houston. It was supposed to be Duke and Florida, and possibly Duke winning it all. They also had a starting lineup. Now, all of them are in the NBA, especially with the number one pick, Cooper Flagg, the guy that could probably win Rookie of the Year, Colin Canopo, your guy, Anthony, and now Nick, apparently. So
Colin Canopo's been my guy, okay? Colin Canopo's been my guy.
When I agree,
I don't know what you're talking about here, man.
I don't. It doesn't stain the legacy. It just stains a little bit of what's inside that program at the moment since Coach K retired, especially John Shire. He got to reinvent himself in
He's got to do better. He's got to do better because you again, and it just stains on me as someone who's covered Miami. If you're winning ACC Coach of the Year, you're winning ACC championship.
Agreed.
You got to take it a step further. So
I agree.
If not, then you're off to a bad start in your tenure, and that's going to be and it might be short lived if you don't get it turned around quickly.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like you can do good in the regular season. Like, don't be like the Dallas Cowboys that choke in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you can be a good regular season team.
We see it all over sports. Yeah,
literally, that program made you a successor because they know that you can bring that team to the promised land. He's a champion as an assistant in 2015, like you said, Anthony. That was our last one. He is a champion as a player, so like he can get it done. But man, he's been twice.
And you never lack talent either. You never lack talent, especially at Duke.
Exactly. So I mean, other people are gonna blame Caden Boozer, but freshman, he's a kid, he's a teenager, making a big mistake, but he had a good game next to his brother. He was the second best scorer next to his brother, and also Duke, like they had a couple of the injuries. Their point guard Foster, you saw their center who was coming off the bench because he wasn't completely 100%. And so we also gotta take that a little bit in consideration. and it's Patrick Ngomba. I remember when I told you guys that Duke could actually get eliminated quick because their two starting players were not ready for the tournament. So at the end of the day, yeah, it hurts, especially for the students, this type of loss. But I'm still gonna ride with UConn's basically remarkable comeback. Now, this is a top. Yep.
Bro, before we get to this topic, Nick, you got a message
Yep.
for us?
I do have a quick question. I do have a quick question. Are you guys hungry right now?
Always.
Yes.
Well, because if you are, this is about a hit. Metropole Restaurant just opened in Dolphin Mall. And it's basically a cheat code for amazing Puerto Rican and Cuban dishes. I'm talking mofongo, crispy fried pork, stuffed chicken, congri rice, ribs, like the kind of meal where you can say, I'll just try a little bit. And then somehow your plate's gone and everyone else's plate's gone because you ate everything. So next time you're shopping at Dolphin Mall, do yourself a favor, skip the food court and go straight to Metropole Restaurant. Your taste buds will thank you.
Skip
so
the
thank
food
you, Metro, for
court,
sponsoring
everybody.
No, and the plates, guys, are really big that even if you're very hungry, you still take some to go.
You're still gonna finish it. I had a good time with my friend Ray recently. We went to the restaurant. He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get a little mofongo." Nada. He got everything, dude. He got everything and devoured it. And he said, "Nick, it's freaking delicious."
Good
Good
prices at the same time, and where you can watch every single games: NBA, MLB, NFL, NHL, UFC, boxing, tennis, golf, you name it, everything. And obviously big events like the FIFA, which is on its way. All right, guys, we're gonna go now to the low. Wait, what?
Speaking of hits, let's get to the one that we got to.
We're now gonna report to the Loan Depot where our friend Nicholas Dupont is.
Hey, security, give me 1 second. I need to do my take right now. All right, cool.
All right, Nick, are you ready?
Oh, no, I'm ready. Yeah. I just have to tell security I'm doing my take really quick. I'll get you the chicken tenders in a second. I got you. Okay.
All right, sorry, guys. We've seen this week what's happening in the series against the White Sox, but let's just focus on the Rockies. It was at their home turf where Nick is right now. It's the first time since 2009 that they started the season with a series sweep. I know it was not against a contending team, but still, a win is a win. And also, it wasn't big leads, but they find ways. That's what good teams or teams that are becoming a little bit more relevant start to do. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And so, Nick, do we see the Marlins becoming a dangerous team in the National League? And remember, last season, they actually could have gone.
Yep. They could have gone
to the playoffs. It would have been the third time this decade. Last decade they didn't made it. Last World Series championship 2003.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the Marlins did make it during COVID. I think they made a wild card during COVID.
That's what I'm saying.
They got
this decade. This
2020 and 23.
So it could have So it could have been 3 times the first half of this decade that they could have been in the playoffs. Something we haven't seen in years and generations.
So for my take, I want to credit my friend Alex for helping me out figure this out because I thought about this question for a while, and I really sat there and I was like, can they be competitive? Well, my friend Alex Rodriguez says it best, and you guys don't know him, but he does know baseball, so I do listen to him. And he was telling me the only team the Marlins are dangerous to is themselves. And that's the way I'm going to put it, because it is true. The Marlins, they've shown that they can be a big hitting team. They can have the right pitching assets, and they can do well in these games, especially against teams like the Rockies, where they can win games against non-competitive teams, which are big wins to get. Discrediting what happened the other day with Chicago. But if the Marlins can stay competitive hitting and they can stay consistent, if Owen Casey can really show everybody that he is the next big thing to be there, because that's what we witnessed, man. We witnessed the number one prospect send us home with a walk-off home run. Like if we can expect that for these big moments from these guys like him, Otto Lopez, I think the team's going to be in a really good direction. But the pitching needs to stay consistent. I'm sorry. Sandy Alcantara cannot be the only guy out there making these big time plays and having these big time moments. We have to have our bullpen succeed, and they have to be consistent, and they have to close out games. If we cannot close out games, it is just simple. We will not win. And I know we were talking about, I know we're talking about the Rockies, but I do want to touch a little bit of the White Sox, if that's okay,
Go ahead.
because that moment that we lost 8-2 yesterday. Like no one could get on base. No one could get on base, and the pitching was awful right off the bat. So that moment hit me and struck me as like, man, like we could be competitive. We could be really good, you know. For me, I want to see the Marlins finish off at least 5-1. I think 5-1 would be a really good start for us. Um, I need to see more consistency from them before I can fully dive right into it. Because although it was incredible, again, it was the Rockies. So I wouldn't jump to say that they can be the most dangerous team or one of the most dangerous teams. I do think they have a chance of slipping into the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
I'm just not sold on them entirely. I think they're more dangerous to themselves than to others.
What do you think, Anthony?
I consider them dangerous only in the context of I think they'll be in the running again, but I think this time around they'll be stronger to actually make it. Because if we go back to last season, what really costed them was a 5-game series against Atlanta. I think they left the series 1-4. And part of it was the pitching. I think Yuri had the worst
Top 5 worst. Top 5 worst last season.
I think he allowed like 3 home runs in that game or something. So he had the biggest struggle, but even though it was overall struggle regardless. But that series specifically costed them their chances, even though they were still in the running. But I think this year around, because you look at the division, the Phillies are going to be top, of course. The Mets are off to a weird start, especially with Bo Bichette. The Nationals are not going to do anything.
Bo Bichette looks like Juan Soto at the beginning of last season in his first year with the Mets.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like
like a new Mets syndrome,
like a Mets syndrome or something like that.
Yeah,
but it's crazy for high paid players.
Exactly. You look at his start, and you look at the Nationals. They're not going to do anything. Atlanta, they have talent, but last season it was injuries. Let's see what happened this year. But I think if you look at that, the Marlins have a good chance to be at least second or third in the division. And just because you bring in Owen Casey right now, he's filling in for Kyle Stowers just in terms of the lineup, and he's already proving like to have a great start. And also when it comes to the pitching, again, and I go to this a lot, I believe because now with Sandy fully healthy, it'll give the closers a much better chance to actually close games better, because at the start of last year, Sandy was giving up a bunch of runs and he just couldn't get strikeouts like that, like he used to. But now that he's fully healthy now, and also because Yudi is now given the reins because they traded Cabrera during the offseason for Owen Casey. So now you got those two. Those are your top two. And you see the other 3 guys, they got to just throw strikes. That's all they got to do. So I think now they have a stronger chance to actually finish in the race and actually make it. I think they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be a very sneaky team, and they have the bats to do it. They're going to wait for Kyle Stowers to get back when he's healthy from his hamstring.
Yeah, he was all-star last season for them.
Exactly. So you got to look at that. And the pitching staff, I think they'll do better this year, especially with Sandy healthy. Yudi is your number 2 now. You have Pete Fairbanks as your closer. He's one of the best in MLB. So you have all these little new factors, and this is a slow progression because keep in mind, we're now seeing what Peter Bendix is trying to do with this franchise. Now this is fully his vision. Now take it a step further. So I think they're going to be very dangerous because they're going to be that one team that's like, all right, they're sneaky, but you just never know. But if they're sneaky good enough, I think they'll make it.
All right, so I actually would trust more the batting, which finished top 10 last season. It was the reason why they were still in the mix in that division to possibly try to. I mean, they are the ones that knocked out the Mets. Let's start with that. The Mets only had to win 1 game in those 3 series. In that series, those last 3 games of the regular, they just needed to win 1, and the Marlins won all 3, knocking them out of the playoffs.
Great times.
That was a big accomplishment for them, especially when the Mets, they had a great start. All of a sudden, they were up and down like the Yankees and other teams. And for them, with that payroll, to miss the playoffs, and the Marlins were the ones that caused that, basically those are good signs of what we can see in the upcoming future for this team. But at the moment, I trust the batting. The bullpen was top 5 worst last season. They were horrible, and they still could have possibly made the playoffs. You see Oro Lopez, like Anthony alluded to, right now, a good start, an average of .285. We got Xavier Edwards, we got Owen Casey,
Oro
Sanoja.
Lopez.
Like all those players right now are above 300 in batting average. I know it's the beginning of the season, but it's a good start. And
Mm-hmm.
I gotta wrap it up with this. Right now, the Marlins, we can see them, but exactly that, see to believe. Because
Yep.
like you just
Yeah,
said,
I
Anthony,
agree with that.
look at this division. I mean, they are in a division where the Braves, all those teams, the Braves, the Mets, the Nationals, they're gonna regress,
They're gonna regress.
and Atlanta. Right now, all of them have the same record. So it's going to be an interesting
Mm-hmm.
competition in that division. In the Central, I would actually be focused on the Cubs, the Brewers, and the Reds, but are three teams that are expected to go to the playoffs. And then when you see the West, the team that's supposed to three-peat, like the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Giants made a couple of moves, and then the Padres. The Padres always have a bad start. All of a sudden, they turn around. So I feel like they are in the most competitive and dangerous league than the AL. In the
Yeah,
AL, I
but
could actually
just real
give them
quick,
a little bit more play.
real quick, Raul, just on the
Yeah.
Padres specifically, they're always that team. Like in the regular season, they show off a bunch of like potential, and then
Yeah.
playoff time, it's like, eh.
No, I agree to that, but like right now, for the Marlins to become a dangerous team, they got to make the playoffs.
That was okay.
And
I
so,
agree with you on that.
and
And
so, yeah,
I understand your concern with the bullpen. Obviously, that was their biggest weakness.
yeah,
But again, when you have your ace, your top guy in Sandy, who last year who just he couldn't get going in that first half of the year, it doesn't put your closers in any of a good position to close games in a winning fashion. So that's why, in my point of view, that's why Sandy's health is so critical. Because
yeah,
if your top guy is not even healthy enough, and he is still your number one,
mhm,
and he's giving up a bunch of runs, then your closers are not going to be able to close out in a good fashion, even if they go for a perfect game.
I agree.
And also, I want to ask you guys this real quick, because of Owen Casey's really good start so far. Does that put more pressure on Edward Cabrera to do good on the Cubs, who already have expectations?
I believe so. Because the
Yeah,
Cubs
I
are
wouldn't see why.
because the Cubs are actually. And now I'll ask you with this question: who are more contenders, Cubs or Marlins? Who's got
1,000%
like
Cubs, 1,000%.
that? So I feel like that's why the Cubs made that big move. So he's got a ball for that team because Chicago's the team that I mentioned last season. Like they can for the 2026 go as far as a national championship game,
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with you.
national league championship game. Sorry,
I
national
agree
league
with you. It's just also
championship game.
because on our YouTube show, when I posted our video of Owen's home run, there was a
Yeah,
Cubs fan who asked, was it worth it for Cabrera? I responded saying, listen, I still believe in Edwards. I actually liked
yeah,
him. I didn't want to trade him initially, but it is what it is. And
they got
Edwards,
prospects. They got the
exactly. And
Marlins got
I
prospects.
like it. I like it.
yeah, Edwards has to perform, because if not, then this trade is going to look bad on him for a number of years of his career, which
Two,
again, I'm a fan of him.
yeah, two quick points. You can count me the seconds. 30. After the White Sox series, they got the Yankees. They got
Mm-hmm.
the Reds.
That's a
They
good
got
Okay.
the
stadium.
Tigers. They got the Braves. The Brewers. The April schedule is brutal.
It is
Cardinals,
brutal.
Giants, and just to wrap it up, the champs Dodgers. That's their April schedule. So that month is where they're going to show us if they are actually a dangerous team that can beat contenders, let alone the favorites of that league that they represent. Like I said, is the most dangerous. And the last one, at the same time, Kyle Stowers, when he comes back, that offense is going to be even
Firepower.
more firepower than last season. Last season they were top 7. I feel like this season they can be top 5, and they don't have like that brand name. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Like that Juan Soto, that Shohei Ohtani, those type of players, that Aaron Judge. You got players that can become that type of level. Owen Casey, Kyle Storage is already a star. We'll see about Oro Lopez, Xavier Edwards, remaining. But yeah, I
Let's not
would.
forget Jacob Marcy. He's a
Jacob
beast too.
Marcy, you can see in the picture right there. And I like that they went back to their like Florida Marlins vintage shirts, because last time we saw Not the last time,
Usually.
not the last time, but that's the uniform that they basically used when they won their last World Series. So maybe this gives them like a little juice, a
Nick, you
little
got any
firepower.
Nick, got any final takes on this, man?
Oh, I just need to see it to believe it, just like Raul said. I think that's what it is. I'm really high on Cassie. Ever since you put me on Cassie, Anthony, I pause. Ever since you like just kind of like introduced me to Cassie, I thought it was a really great. I don't know. I was kind of attracted to like the idea of him and like the entire concept of it the first time. If I'm not mistaken, who was the GM for the Rays when they decided to do their whole youth movement process? You know what I'm talking about? When the Rays were resetting and they were just like doing the whole youth movement where they were trying to get all these prospects and just start building from the ground
Probably
up.
Peter Bendix, because that was he was. I mean, he was there for a number of years.
Exactly. So I think the
Yeah,
Marlins are taking that route right now, and it's looking really nice. I hope they can just keep the momentum going. Unfortunately, against the White Sox, again, we weren't talking about that, but against the White Sox, it's not looking good right now. But
That
if they can
April
keep
month is so brutal.
I think that's a really
That
good
April
testing month.
schedule is
I
brutal.
think the Yankees is a really good testing series for them, so we can
thousand
really see
percent.
what this team is about. Because it's very early in the season. They're playing hot. They're playing cold. They're playing whatever right now. So I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
playing a really good team is going to be really dictate what this team
And,
is about, and if they
and
can make.
Raul, since we bring up the bullpen a lot, like that bullpen will be tested significantly against those Yankee
That's what I'm
bats.
nervous about. That is what I'm nervous about.
And against the Reds, against the Tigers, Braves. I mean, after the Hurricson profile situation that he's out for the whole season, I feel like
Crazy.
that literally after acquiring him and all that money, I was like, wow, that's a big blow for Atlanta to start off
That
the
Hmm.
is a big
season.
blow.
But then just to end it, they got the Giants and the Dodgers. This is where they're gonna show us if they're battle tested. Now, hopefully, like you just add with the new front office moves, maybe the Dolphins can turn around.
Oh
Who
my
knows?
God, why do you gotta bring them up,
Who
bro? We're
We're
knows?
talking
still a
about
couple years into
baseball.
this, man.
Come
We still got a couple
on.
Let's
years.
go to our next topic.
Unfortunately.
Next topic, production,
Wait, before we
please.
go,
Next
before we go,
topic.
I have a message.
Whoa.
I have a message.
While he gives off the
Yeah.
message, let me talk to security and get them their chicken nuggets. All right, give me 1 second.
You got it,
Oh,
Anthony. The
oh
floor
my
is
God.
yours. The floor is yours.
Yes, sir.
Production. Wait,
All
let us
right,
know
everybody.
when
Listen,
Nick is
we
back.
we all work very late. Raul works very late. I work very late.
Yeah.
Nick works very late. We are all hustling. But guess
Mhm.
what? Even in these late hours, hunger is striking. But luckily, Metropole Restaurant has opened in the 305 here in Miami, right in Dolphin Mall, where you can
Woo!
get the best Puerto Rican and Cuban dishes. Trust me and the boys. At one point, we're gonna go and just enjoy a great time. Honestly,
Yeah, because we
the vibes are gonna be great and delicious. All right, Metropole Restaurant at Dolphin Mall. Make sure y'all check it out.
literally that's the one thing we haven't done. We've done it individually, but not together. So
Oh, trust
so
me,
what?
especially when the NFL draft comes in, we definitely do. We definitely gotta go. Oh wait, well, at
And
least
of
you and me
course,
because Nick's gonna be out of town. But
yeah,
still, we all gonna
espe-
enjoy a great time though.
especially the NBA playoffs where it's on its way, and also the NHL. But Anthony,
Yeah,
sadly, it's been a rough season for this team.
it has.
And look who's back. Production just told us Nicholas is ready. You're
I'm
ready.
sorry about that, guys. Security was really on me about getting those chicken tenders. They really wanted them, so I had to go for a second. You made me miss the ad read. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Bro, at least they're letting you rent for an hour.
I mean, I bought them.
That,
It's a
that's
little
fun.
longer now because I got them a soda, so I'll be here a little longer.
Yeah, let's
My
go.
man. All right, so I don't know if this is gonna be like a high type headline theme
Oh, shut up! You just don't
for
watch hockey.
Nick. All right. After a struggling season, the Florida Panthers will shut down all star players, ending three-peat quest. So the floor is yours, Nicolas Dupont.
Oh, do you guys want to give a take first, and I take it at the end?
Anthony,
If
you
you
want to
want.
give a quick take
I
so Nick can
mean,
steal a spot?
my only take really is listen. Every dynasty has a gap year. Just wait. Just saying.
I like that.
Um,
I like that.
Nick, all I'm gonna say is that a team named Boston also was going through that, not knowing that Tatum was gonna be available and not having that type of roster to be number 2 and possibly finish number 1. It's something similar. I'm not saying this is the same, but Come on, Nick.
Are we
For
throwing
a,
shade at Nick
for,
right now with that
no,
Boston pick
I'm not,
again?
no, 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 wait. I'm not
He's
trying
not.
to
He's not.
throw,
I know what he's getting
I'm
at.
not trying to throw shade. I'm not trying to throw shade at
It
it.
hurts, but
You
I get
can,
it.
you can answer the real question towards it. But if they ask me, was this a disappointing season for the Panthers? I could say Sergei Bobrovsky didn't ball out, and you know it, and that hurts.
That one hurts
But
a lot.
at the same time, from the beginning of the season, even you told me, Nick, that one player apparently was gonna make a big difference, and that's Brad Marchand.
Yep. Yep.
And we talked about it now, but they're still a playoff team. They still got talented. I mean, they basically return with almost the same core. Like, they're still the team that has gone to 3 Stanley Cups, won the past 2. Now the 3-peat quest is officially over. But recently, Evan Rodriguez, broken finger. Uvis Balinskis, broken foot. Anton Lundell, ribs. Sam Reinhart. If I'm not mistaken, what was it? Right?
It was something. It was
It,
something.
it,
It's
was, it
just
was
injuries.
something. I don't know if it's like a lower body. Nico Mikola, knee injury. Like some of those players that I'm mentioning have been through the season and now recently. So I understand why Paul Morris is gonna sit out his players because he even said it. He quoted, "It's become one of the most dangerous seasons for my team."
Yeah.
Like over 9 players being injured. Some of them are out for the rest. One of them didn't even start, which in other words was like top 3 piece of the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Bosky hasn't played well. It's probably having one of his worst seasons of career. So there's so many factors why the Panthers right now couldn't three-peat. But at the same time, in the Eastern Conference, they are above 500.
Yeah, that's the craziest part about it. It is
That's
the
what's
craziest part
crazy.
about it. Yeah. Bottom of the
Go ahead, cook,
leaderboard. The
Nick. Go
East is
ahead,
just
cook.
so strong. Yeah, I mean, Raul said it best. If Bobrovsky, I want to start on Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky has been brutal. He's finally hit the point in his career where you can clearly see the age regression. He has not
Mhm.
been the same. He's completely slowed down. His flexibility, his reflexes, they're just not the same as what they used to be. He kind of reminds me of when he started off in as a Florida Panther, where he really struggled to find his rhythm, and then it really hit him. It really hit him when he made that playoff run where we went to go against Vegas in the finals. That's when the real Bobrovsky showed up. But
Yeah.
it's sad right now, man, seeing his regression because he won't be here next year. I hope he comes back on the minimum. I doubt he will because teams out there are desperate for goalies, and I know someone's going to reach out and be like, "Hey, we'll offer you 20 million to come and just play here for a couple seasons," especially contenders because the goalies are really really desperate. It's a really desperate need right now for teams in the NHL. And then the picture that the guy right there, Alexander Barkov, can't do anything without him. And clearly we saw it for the entire season. Yeah, we won games, and Brad Marchand was the tip of the spear for the most part throughout the entire season. He had an amazing season on his end, considering what he had around him. And what he had around him was straight injuries. Where you lose Barkov in training camp at the beginning of the season, you lose E2 Lusterrain into a barbecue accident, you lose Sam Reinhart for a park, Matthew Tkachuk was out for more than half of the season, top 2 player on the team. You lose Aaron Ekblad for a couple games due to PTEs, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, player enhancement drugs. Yeah, PEDs, my mistake. And you lose Seth Jones, your best defender for majority of the season. Sorry, second best defender. And you lose Gustav Forsling, Mr. Reliable, for a good portion of the season. So this season as a whole has honestly felt like a curse. To me, it really started when when Barkov tore his ACL.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe they can still do something. They have a really good roster still. And once I saw E2 Lusterrain go out with a barbecue accident, I was like, yeah, the season's cursed. We're not doing anything. But if I was a Panthers fan right now, I mean, I am a Panthers fan right now. But just for all Panthers fans, if you are a Panthers fan, I would actually be really excited for the draft. Because yes, we have a winning record and we are bottom of the leaderboard. Incredible East. I think hockey's been great this season. I think the East has been probably the most fun to watch. As a whole, I really like the Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings have been awesome to watch. But the Panthers are in a great spot right now to land Gavin McKenna. And Gavin McKenna, I don't know if you guys know about Gavin McKenna, but Gavin McKenna is really looking like the next Nikita Kucherov with a little bit of Mitch Marner. He's quick. His reflexes are incredible. He has an incredible shot, fast off the release. I mean, I don't see a reason or a way that the Panthers don't land him. I mean, I could see how we don't land him if we don't win the lottery. But even after that, I could see the Panthers, even if they end up with like the number 4 spot, go for a guy like Chase Reed to even boost the defensive end, or a guy like Tynan Lawrence out of Boston University. He's a smart two-way center. He has playmaking ability, strong defensive instincts. You know, he's kind of similar to Barkov in that aspect. I don't know if we really need another one of those since we have Sam Reinhart. But anything helps and boosts the bench at this point because Mackie Samoskevich is going to be gone. There's going to be a lot of guys this offseason that are going to be leaving. So it's really going to be about boosting the bench. And the one guy I really hope the Panthers have a chance of landing, if they do end up with a good spot to land a goalie, if Bobrovsky does move on, is Joshua Ravensbergen out of Prince George. He looks like a mid-first round talent. I'm not going to lie. But the guy has instincts like Connor Hellebuck. You know, he's big. He sits in the butterfly most of the time. He has quick reflexes, excellent size and net coverage. He's calm under pressure and rarely overcommits, which is something that Bobrovsky has always done, where he overcommits, but it somehow works for him because he makes himself look bigger. So the Panthers are in a really good spot, actually. And I really do think if they land at number 1 pick, they can be contenders again because you're getting all your pieces back. You're getting basically the next generation of hockey players and Gavin McKenna if you do land him. The Panthers are really set up right now. I'm really excited for next season, and I think Panthers fans are as a whole because this season, everyone understands it is what it is. Injuries. We had our 2-peat already. It's fine. Bill Zito won 3 out of his 5 championships with the Blackhawks every other year. So we're still expecting that championship, the championship culture, which is what the Panthers have developed now. Now it's just about, can we keep it consistent and competitive moving forward? Because the Panthers, for a very long time before Bill Zito, have always been either first round exit, barely making the playoffs, very similar to the Marlins for their entire lifespan after the 90s. So I really hope they can stay competitive after the draft, whoever they land, and I think whoever they're going to get is going to be a stud. Anything's going to be better than Tarasov. I cannot stand Tarasov as my backup goalie. God, you are awesome, Tarasov. I love you as a person. You are great, but as a goalie, respect.
You can't stand him.
Please get off my team. Like Jeff Pentry. The Panthers got rid of Jeff Pentry recently, and I was ecstatic. I could not believe it. The curse was gone. He is gone off the team. But yeah, now we have some guys coming back to the lineup, hitting the ice, getting ready for next season. Yeah. So I'm really excited. It's gonna be a really good push.
Nick, let me ask you this real quick. Because we talk about the NBA draft being loaded, if the Panthers don't get the first overall pick, and let's say they keep their guys, but they're not competitive, do you hit the reset button the following offseason?
I would not.
No.
I would not.
No, they still got a good roster. They still got the pieces that they need for that championship culture. I'm telling you, they were prone to injury. They were cursed the whole damn season, and they're last in their division, Anthony. There's 16 teams in both conferences. There's 8 in different divisions. They are last in their division, and they're in the 15th spot in the Eastern Conference, above 500. Yep. 15 teams above 500. They were supposed to be below.
Even right now, they're up 5-0 with their bench against Ottawa. Like, I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, they still have Kachuk and Ekblad playing, and they have Seth Jones back. But I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it somehow.
The only guy that had luck for the past 3 years is Matthew. 2 Stanley Cups and a recent gold medal with USA.
I mean, but
that's the only positive spot for the Panthers that we can talk about.
The only thing I would say about rebuilding, Anthony, would be trading a couple guys. Like, if it was me, I would look to trade possibly Aaron Ekblad. I love Aaron Ekblad. He's a fan favorite. Everyone loves him in Miami and in Florida just as a whole. Well, not all Florida as a whole because Tampa hates us and we hate Tampa. But in the South Florida region, everyone loves Aaron Ekblad. He is a fan favorite. He's been here. We've drafted him. He's been here for forever. I would hate to see him get traded, but at this moment in time, I think it would be best. And we get some either draft capital or a better defenseman because at the end of the day, he's a very offensive player for a defensive guy. He really takes shots on goal. He takes a lot of shots on goal. He's smart from the outside. He knows where to move the puck. He has great IQ, but defensively, he always seems to struggle. He always, in big moments, and for the past few years in the finals, I think Panthers fans could recognize this. It's Connor McDavid, to be fair, and Leon Draisaitl. But your job as a defenseman is to keep the guy in front of you. Every time he would let everyone walk around him as a traffic cone. He was a human traffic cone. So I wouldn't mind getting rid of Ekblad. Another fan favorite, I think this is a very hot take, would be possibly looking into trading Carter Verhaeghe. I love Carter Verhaeghe to death. I absolutely love Carter Verhaeghe. Please, Panthers fans, do not shoot me. Please. I am telling you, I'm going to give you a reason. And that reason is we need to start clearing a little bit of cap. If we really want to rely on Brad Marchand, Sam Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk,
Yeah,
Alexander Barkov, Seth Jones, Gustav Forsling, we're going to need to find more cap space and bring in younger guys to come in and fill these spots. Carter Verhaeghe had a very off season. I feel like for the past few seasons, Carter Verhaeghe has really regressed in his role. And before he was like big time shot scorer, able to get around defenses quickly, but
defensive, yeah.
I
That's
just
all
I
I gotta
haven't
say.
I haven't seen it that much from him like for the past few seasons, and it's been really disappointing. Like last year in the playoffs, for example, he was very disappointing to watch. Like I was expecting way more goals from him, way more opportunities from his end, but he was just not finding the net. He couldn't find the net, and even the beginning of this season and towards the middle, he just could not find the net. Yeah, he would score, but like he's the only other guy out there on his line that's able to score. So considering that half your other team is injured, so what can you really do in that opportunity? I think trading for Carter Verhaeghe would be on the table right
To
now if I
to
was the
co-
Panthers.
to conclude this segment, I can just answer the question: if the Panthers get the number one pick, are they automatically contenders again? I feel like even if they don't get it, they're still contenders.
Agreed. Agreed. I
All right.
agree
What
with
about you,
that.
Anthony?
No, I got nothing to add more on this. Yeah, I mean, because respectfully, hockey is like my weakest sport to analyze compared to basketball, football, and baseball. But I mean, it's just at some point because this roster, of course, the age is gonna be a factor. Like at some point, you have to reset, and so it's just more so okay. How do you prepare for it? And so it's just more so okay. We'll see how they move,
I
how they go
just I
moving
just feel
forward.
I just feel I just feel that we're gonna see what transpires next season, and then we can have this
Yeah,
conversation
can,
again.
can we
Especially
agree that maybe
if they stay healthy, also.
can we agree that next season will be like the determination of the future?
Mm.
I would go 50-50, depending if they just like press the panic button.
I'd give it 2 years. I would give it. I would give
Yeah,
it two
I would
years.
do 2 years.
All right, but we all
Because
we all do see a small window with this core.
Uh, yes, I do see a small window because majority of these guys are already hitting their 30s. Matthew Tkachuk is still under 30. Aaron Ekblad's already 30. I mean, hockey players age differently from other athletes, so that's just the truth of it. But you can still see a regression from these guys. Like Brad Marchand's 38 years old. He's still playing at a high level, but by the time that
Yeah,
contract ends, he's going to be in his 40s. So our window's small because of him and Sam Reinhart. I think those two guys are big X factors for us. If they are not available because of their age and just straight regression, at that point, then we're gonna have to make a change.
especially
So,
after football, hockey, in my opinion, is like the most dangerous sport. I don't know if you
oh,
can.
I agree.
Yeah,
Those people are gonna talk about UFC and boxing, obviously, but like collectively as a team, I feel like NFL and then NHL are the most dangerous sports in
I
North
agree.
yeah.
American. So and that could be an X factor of how long, what's the duration for certain athletes. Like you've seen the best
Mhm.
that have gone through, like Nick said, 35 minimum, maximum to 40. There are others that had a short term because they haven't been the same mentally or physically.
I mean, mind you, the oldest hockey player that I've seen play professionally, he's still playing professionally, just not in the NHL, was Jaromir Jagr. Jaromir Jagr,
Yeah.
everyone, Hall of Fame player right there. The dude, I think is like almost 50 right now, and he's still play. I think he
Mhm.
is 50 actually. He's still playing professionally in Europe. Like
Yeah.
it's incredible. These guys age differently, and they just when you're good, you know how to play right. Like Alexander Ovechkin is 40 years old, and he's
Hmm.
still going for Wayne Gretzky's records.
Yeah.
And these are guys that
Ovechkin.
yeah, and these are guys that have been through their injuries in the past, and have still come back and have played at another level. Hockey players and their rehabilitation processes are on another level from what I've seen. Because yeah, you do have your players every now and then that just stumble off and fall off entirely, but for the most part, man, like these guys come back like they're warriors. Like Alexander Barkov tore his ACL, and like 5 months later, he was already out of the boot and like running laps in
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale. I saw him at the Heat game the night before that post came out with him. So I don't know. I'm excited, and I
Yeah,
hope I hope Barkov doesn't fall off.
like I said, Alex Ovechkin breaking records still, and he's 40 years old. And he
Yeah.
still got it. And he still got it. So
And look at Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby got injured
Sidney
for Team
Crosby,
Canada, and he's already back on the team.
yep. So just to wrap it up, we all agree that like even without the number one pick, the Panthers should still be contenders for the upcoming season. So hopefully they can stay healthy as the main factor towards it. All right, guys. That's all for today's show, episode number 36. I'm Raul Payne with my colleagues Anthony Aguirre and Nick Dupont. Next episode, we're going to be focusing on the NBA since next week is the ending of the regular season. Let's see who are the teams that secure the playoff spot without having to participate in the play-in, and who are the teams that could actually, maybe like the Hornets, beat a team like the Heat in the first round of a play-in, because that right now that's the matchup that we're going to be seeing. So
it's that time, boys.
Come on,
It's that time for the Hornets to go up. It's that time, boy.
Can we see both Florida teams making it to the playoffs or being out? Since right now, what is looking is another run at a play-in. All right, guys. Have a good evening. We'll see you next week. Okay.
I'm going to.